try and make some recommendations later in the show. But the first hour, we have Christina Schwanke. Schwonke. See, I should have asked that question before, and I was going to. Christina Schwonke, and she is joining us here today. She calls herself a stay-at-home mom, but it seems that she's a lot more than that. With a background in pharmaceutical software validation program management. That's a huge mouthful. She's also lived in California, South Korea, North Dakota, and now she's here in Nevada. One of the things she loves to do is photography, and most recently is the Storey County Republican Central Committee Chair. That's awesome. That is really something. Welcome to What's the Story, and you're here so you can share your story. Yes, no. Yep. No, you're definitely on. No worries. Oh, shoot. Hold on one second here. We've got some of those technical difficulties, right? All right, fire away. Welcome, Christina.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me on today, Janice. I'm so excited to be on the show, and I'm thrilled to kind of share my story about how I got here. So I'm a California native. I grew up in Cedarville, California, which is rural California. We're on the border of Nevada and Oregon, and growing up, it was a town of 800 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So very small
Very
town.
small.
And I've watched over the years as things have, as my town has shrunk because of regulations. Our town went from 800 to 600 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my husband and I were basically pushed out of California because we couldn't find work, and ended up in North Dakota, worked in the oil boom. And
around what time period was that? What years, roughly?
2012.
Okay, so thereabouts. All right.
We came home in 2015, and when I had my daughter, we moved home, or we bought a house here in 2013, and then we moved into it when I got pregnant, and my husband got a job out here. So we've been in Reno about 6 years officially.
Oh,
wow. And it's been nice because for me, Storey County is a nice mixture of, rural Nevada, but I'm so close to Reno, close to home.
having come from a town that was 800 people and then down to 6, you're used to rural. You're used to small town atmosphere, and that's probably where your comfort zone is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So at what point were you in, I presume this was before you got married, that you were in South Korea, and is that correct?
Yeah, so I went to college down in Los Angeles. I attended the Master's College, which is now the Master's University. I got a degree in business administration and public relations. So I moved to Los Angeles to work for a PR firm, and really didn't get paid enough. I mean, right, that's the story now, to even make it. So I was cocktailing at night and working at this PR firm during the day, and then the economy just tanked.
Right.
And so I moved up to Bishop, where my parents were, and started working as a bartender, thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get my life together. What do I want to do? And it's definitely not public relations, and it's definitely not working in a bar. And so
oh, come on, why not? Young girl like you, yeah. Fun stuff.
Yeah,
right?
all fun stuff. So so I ended up just traveling. I went to Japan. I got a ESL, English as a second language credential out of Spain, and then
wow, you're a busy gal.
just trying to figure out who I was. I just went on that journey, and so I ended up in South Korea teaching English for 6 months, and kind of got rooted in like, okay, these are the things that matter to me. This is which direction I want to head, and then of course I'd met my husband right before I moved there, and decided I probably should go back to the U.S. and end up with him.
Wow, what a journey. That's tremendous. And I am looking forward to hearing a little bit more when we're going to take a break here pretty soon. But when we do come back, I want to hear a lot about when you were doing the publicity, because we had a little conversation off air, and Christina was explaining to me a little bit about how that worked for her. And I think it kind of fits in a little bit with how things are right now, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
The way the world is right
Yes.
now, and with the news media, the way it manages things. And interestingly, in 2012, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's when Obama signed a law that said that the media could promote propaganda.
Man, I think I got right on time.
So with that said, I mean, you can kind of understand why we're in the pickle we're in right now. And I don't know whether it was Obama, whether it would be some other president, anybody who would sign that in the Congress that passed that. It's ridiculous. I don't know any reason other than to harm the people that you would be wanting propaganda sent out there.
It's really
there's no
concerning.
there's no real reason for that. I can't even imagine that. So we'll investigate that more later. But in the meantime, that tells us it is time to take a break. And we'll come back with Christina, and she'll tell us more about some of her journeys, and lots to know here. So don't go away. We'll be back.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Book Hound radio show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man on the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope swelling up from the depths of of my soul.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. I am your host, and I am pleased today to have Christina Schwonke. Correct?
Yes, that's
Did I
correct.
get it right now? I got her name
There's
right.
no judgment if you get it wrong.
Oh, my goodness. Well, names are never good for me anyway. I try and read articles sometimes, and you come across these names, and you're like, oh, man, I'm going to massacre that. So, but, it is what it is. So we did talk a little bit about your background and where you've lived and some of the things that you've run into. And one of the things that you talked about in the first segment was the fact that you were in publicity. And you shared a story with me when we were off air, and I'd love it if you would share that with my audience, because I think it represents kind of what's happening today in our news and the fact that we are allowed to disseminate propaganda. And I think your story kind of fits into that whole thing. And I think stories are always good to share with people because it makes it easier to understand, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I got my degree in public relations, and I was really excited. Right out of college, I got picked up by a major PR firm and was working on major company stuff. And one of the first things you learn when you go into public relations is this is how the media works. So you've got your 5 or 6 companies, and then they own.
And that surprised you a bit, right?
Oh, yeah. Because you really think when you're watching the news, like, oh, there's a news station in Reno, there's one in Denver, there's one in, Little Hickville. Like, it's all, they're all seeing the world and they're reporting to you. And what's actually happening is they've got an umbrella company telling them they're telling them what to report, how to do their hair, what kind of clothes to wear, what kind of person to hire. There was a meme that went around, or like a video meme that went around about a year ago, and it showed every reporter in like the Western U.S.
I saw that one.
Yeah, saying exactly the same thing because they're told how, you pick up with this kind of news story, and then you make this one, which you get people high, and then you get them low, and then you have a disaster, and there's a way that it works. And so my job as an intern was to call people. I was supposed to go through these lists and call people and say, hey, you need to, this penguin's really hot. Like, this is what you need to write about. And this is basically what you need to write about it.
So you would basically give them their talking points.
Absolutely. Yes.
Did they actually write the article?
Yeah.
Okay. So they wrote the article, but they never saw the product.
They never saw the product. So and I'm working on small things. So, you've got the reporter that's like the 10 hottest toys of, this Christmas season.
Right.
It's not because they've been out seeing what the kids like or seeing what's good for people. They're out there. They just take in what the different companies bring to them.
So if you're paid enough, or if your company has deep enough pockets, then they have connections with the news media that then puts that into play.
Well, the PR company that's calling, for sure.
Right,
like, you're paying this PR company just to call every reporter in the U.S. And I think a lot of human nature is pretty lazy. Like,
sure,
they're not going to question it. We also had situations where you'd have we had a cell phone company we represented in one of their like small franchises. Somebody came to like report a, broken phone or, something not going right, and they locked them out instead of letting them in. And, it was all caught on camera, and it became like a news story. And our job, we're sitting there like trying to figure out like, how do we spin this to be a good thing? Well, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Like, there's no way to spin this. So, and quite frankly, I was only in the industry for a few months because it felt dishonest. It was just so disingenuous. And I was 20-something years old and thought, man, I can make more money and have more fun at my night job. So why am I going to sit here and protect these people? I can't say it was like truly this ethical thing, but it kind of freaked me out because at 20-something years old, how do you process that everything that you're reading and you're seeing is probably not real,
right? Well, and it's counterintuitive to what you were taught, I'm sure, in your ethics classes, etc. Right?
Yeah,
you know, and then you look at it and say, well, now what do I do?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, like you said, you were looking at how much money you were making and all that. It was like, it's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the other thing is growing up in rural America, I grew up working class. I'm still working class. And so when you're covering for these people that have no regard for what you come from or who you are, it feels like you're betraying your upbringing, you know?
Right.
So,
and so let's kind of migrate to where you are today, which is the chair of the Central Committee for the Republican Party in Storey County. That's very interesting. How did that happen?
Oh my goodness. So
were you political, first of all?
No, not. I wouldn't say not at all. I think everybody's got their views, right?
Sure,
but
sure.
I would have always considered myself an independent, more just not all that interested in what was happening in politics. I really felt like both sides had a lot of problems. The first time I was old enough to vote was for Bush, and I really regretted it. I felt
after you did it.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was a good thing, and so I wasn't all that political, and I didn't understand how the system worked. So then, this whole Trump came along, and it was such a bizarre thing, right? I mean,
sure,
anybody looking back at 2016.
It was bizarre.
Yeah, we're like,
whether you supported him or not, it was bizarre.
You're like, seriously, this guy's running for president?
Right.
What's he doing, And I wasn't overly, excited about it, to be honest, in 2016. So then he gets the presidency, and then we see this explosion, this media explosion of, bizarre lies and propaganda and stuff like that. And
did you relate to that at all at that time, or did you not really think too much about it?
Oh, it totally. I related to it. I was like, what's going, why would they do this? If they're attacking him and they're willing to lie about it, there's got to be a reason. I didn't really understand at the time what the reason was, and I feel like that's becoming more clear to me now. But you're just you're seeing this stuff and these just stories come out, and interesting things that don't even matter. You're like, I don't know. It was just really odd. And then I really liked what he was doing. I am very pro-life. And when he stopped funding abortions abroad, and he held to his word, because I really thought, we're electing this guy that's not going to do anything for us on this level.
Sure.
In my mind, he was not conservative. And he actually did exactly the opposite. He did everything that I hoped he would do. And while I have some things that I'm not real keen on, I think he did the best that he could.
But I think that realistically, if people look at people and our politicians realistically, we could never expect them to meet all the expectations. So if they even meet, in the past, it's been like, oh, they did 25%. That's awesome, right?
Well, and even
which is wrong.
He comes up and he says, I'm going to be pro-life. I'm like, yeah, right. And then he does it. It's like, okay, great. This is awesome. He was way more pro-life than people who have been chanting it for years were. So then I realized I was mistaken. I was mistaken in 2016. This was the first person I'd seen come into the presidency that was different, that was actually accomplishing something. And I wanted to know how the system worked, So last year, or in 2020, our central committee kind of had hey, come to one of our meetings, join the central committee, see what it's all about. And I was like, okay.
Did you know what the Central Committee was?
No, I had no idea. I just wanted to know how the politics worked. Maybe I can learn something.
Did they educate you as to what the Central Committee did for the party?
They did. It was very... At the time, I didn't understand the weight of what I had stepped into. It was a lot of we raise money and we help. On a county level, we're helping local candidates, right? Which I didn't give much thought to before, but now we're seeing how much that really matters, right?
Yeah, we're all learning how important local is. I don't think any of us really knew.
Yeah, so I
didn't.
And I figured, we're, out there, we're kind of talking to candidates, we're raising money, we send out a postcard. Like, it doesn't seem like that big of a thing. And then I got to go to our state meeting as a delegate last year, which was like on Zoom because of COVID. And so that was interesting because you're seeing these like arguments like coming out and you're kind of like, oh, why are we arguing? Like, what's going on? And then the election happened and, man, it was a shock. Like waking up November 4th and seeing that we hadn't finished counting the votes and, what progressed from November 4th to January 20th was probably the most disheartening thing I'd ever seen. Before then I was like optimistic, like I'm at Trump rallies and we're doing this and we're waving our flags and now it's looking more and more like our election got stolen. Like what possibly, like, how did we let this happen? How did this happen?
Right. I'm going to pause you there because in another 30 seconds or so, we're going to take a little break here. So I do want to hear the rest of your story, so don't forget where you are. But yeah, that's very true. And I think that you led up to that, very clearly as far as how some people perceive that. And I know other people perceive it differently. Mm-hmm. But for people in your case, that's how you looked at it. You said, what? This guy did what he said. And now what's going on and how did this happen? So we're going to come back after this and we're going to talk some more with Christina Schwonke about her journey through the Republican Party. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bill Kendall. I've practiced law in Northern Nevada for over 25 years, and I specialize in representing injured people in their fights for just compensation and in representing parents in custody and visitation disputes. I've tried over 20 jury trials to verdict. I've arbitrated or mediated hundreds of personal injury cases on behalf of clients to successful conclusions, and I have personally handled every single case from start to finish. I am also a court-appointed mediator for the Washoe County Family Court Division, where I help parents negotiate custody and visitation plans. With me as your attorney, you can rest assured that your case will be handled competently and that I will be responsive to all of your needs and questions. My goal in every case is to have clients that are satisfied with the outcome of their case and who would recommend me to others. Give me a call at 775-324-6464 or visit my website, billkendalllaw.com. My number again is 775-324-6464.
Destination Midtown. Experience the difference. Reno's premier shopping extravaganza. Everything imaginable and more. Midtown matters. Get down to Midtown.
Beefy's, the best little diner in the biggest little city. Cheeseburgers extraordinaire, chili cheese omelets, and the best milkshakes in Midtown and Reno. Beefy's. Try the full Beefy's menu and beer on tap. Beefy's, South Virginia at Arroyo.
Midtown Reno. Experience the difference. Get down to Midtown. Midtown matters.
Hi, I'm Nathan Osmond of OsmondHomeLoans.com. I'm part of the elite team at Security Home Mortgage and want to become your preferred lender. There's never been a better time to lock in the rate. Unlike many of our competitors, we will not outsource your loan. Our setup, processing, underwriting, and closing staff are all in-house and will help you every step of the way. If you're looking to buy a home in Utah, or if you live here and wish to take advantage of historically low rates, then I am your mortgage man. Be sure to visit OsmondHomeLoans.com today to receive a free quote. That's OsmondHomeLoans.com.
NMLS number 2043092.
Did you know that stem cells are present in all of us, just waiting for an opportunity to regenerate your organs and other body tissues? Studies show that your own stem cells are released into the bloodstream following a trauma. However, a plant-based supplement called RBC Blend has been found to increase stem cells in your blood without trauma. Order your RBC Blend by calling 702-444-LUCKY. One study showed that participants who used RBC Blend increased stem cells in their blood by over 100% after only 2 weeks. Increase your stem cells with RBC Blend by calling 702-444-LUCKY. Stem cells are the ultimate anti-aging treatment. For example, they can be used to improve facial appearance, skin tone, and hair growth. Stem cells can also help with muscle aches and joint pains. Increase your stem cells with RBC Blend by calling 702-444-5825. Could RBC Blend be what you need to achieve optimal health and wellness? Find out today and order RBC Blend by calling 702-444-LUCKY. That number again is 702-444-5825.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and I'm Janice Hermson. I'm your host, and I'm here today with Christina Schwonke, who has been sharing her story. Oh my goodness, what a journey. Journey to being the chair of the Republican Central Committee in Storey County. And I think that maybe there are some people out there who aren't very political that don't know what a central committee does. So maybe just, I know you told a little bit in the last segment, but maybe kind of brief us again. Well, just exactly what does the committee do?
So the central committees, we have two tiers in Nevada. So we have the state party, which is, they really work on statewide politics and nationwide, like when Trump comes, the state party hosts that kind of stuff. And so, and then we have county level. So there's a central committee for each county in Nevada. And we have, our meetings, we do some fundraisers, we help educate people about who's running and, boots on the ground type stuff. If you have people out making the phone calls or, walking the neighborhoods, talking about the Republican Party. And I think one of the things that really gives people an opportunity to do is come in and meet the candidates for the party and have those conversations with the candidates about what they represent. And so it's just a group really that meets and we talk about politics.
And your job is to coordinate all of these activities, I presume?
I coordinate, I have to make sure that the meetings happen and that we follow our bylaws and our NRS and that, our meetings are ran fairly and properly. If anybody's been watching what's happened out of Clark County, it's really important to make sure that you're following the rules and that people have an equal voice and a say and that you're following what you say you're going to do.
And in reference to that Clark County event, it appears that there was some shenanigans going on in the party.
Yes, there were some shenanigans going on in the party.
It's a nice way of saying.
Yeah, definitely. People wanted to join and be part of it, and other people in the party didn't want that. And I think that the Clark County really shows where the heart of Nevada is as far as we're a welcoming group. Right. Where our state party stands is like, come and join us and be part of this. And Clark County was not doing that, and now they are.
Because it changed. They finally got to vote. They allowed the people to come in, and
they have a great chairman down there. And we're like, I couldn't be more thankful because I think that's, one of the things that people were like, the Republicans aren't, and.
Yeah, that's true. They do have that reputation.
And that's it's a testament to people like Dave Schultz and Steve Bannon who are out there like having these conversations about how you get involved and you take it back instead of sitting on the sidelines, you know.
So you mentioned to me when I asked you to kind of tell a little bit about yourself so I would be prepared. You mentioned that you had thought about leaving the Republican Party.
Oh, yeah. So I think, November 4th, it was like, what has happened? And then it starts unfolding. And to me, I am 99.999% sure that we had enough fraud happen in Nevada that we lost seats, that we lost positions and our electors.
You're talking about like Senate seats or?
Well, even just locally in Las Vegas. Okay. And I think we had enough fraud that things are questionable in Nevada, right?
So there are going to be people that are going to say, hold on, what are you talking about? There was no fraud. And our Secretary of State, who's a Republican, said that this was the most safe, secure election ever. So I know you're going to laugh. I get it. But to answer those folks that really don't get it, what convinced you that you really felt, I mean, and it's not just because you're a Republican, because you just said that you were thinking about leaving that party. So this has to do with something individual, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're watching and you're seeing like that just interesting things come out, you've got all of our voter registration information got sent out to Pakistan.
I saw that, yeah.
Like, I don't know why it happened.
They denied it, though, I thought.
They did, and now they're
saying
But I
saw the CC on the email,
yeah,
so
it went to Pakistan. I think that, then we start seeing stuff come out of Antrim County, Michigan, where the Dominion machines were flipping. I mean, they have it on record. They had to flip it back 6,000 votes. And I worked in software. I know how easy something like that is to accomplish. And every county in Nevada, with the exception of Carson, uses Dominion machines. Right. And so that became suspect. And then the state GOP actually went out and they investigated. They wanted to know, like, are we just, we don't want to cry over spilled milk. Let's see what's going on. They turned in 122,000 voting anomalies. That doesn't mean that every one of them was wrong.
Right. Of course
but
not.
They were looking at it going, something's wrong here. So, we had 42,000 duplicate votes in Nevada. We had several thousand out-of-state votes. We had 1,500 dead votes. And so you're looking at that. And for me, at first, it was like, how much fraud is too much fraud? Like, if we're being disenfranchised on this, let's just audit it. Let's just count it and see what actually happened. Either way, I'm okay with it, but let's just know.
So our Secretary of State has said that and do you know the Secretary of State? Have you met her?
I have not met Barbara Sagaski.
I have heard good things about her. I heard that she was an honorable person, that her statements kind of seemed out of character. That's just what I've heard from somebody who knows her. I don't personally know her, and I've not spoken to her. But so looking at that, apparently they did some kind of an audit. I saw the report from the office there, and it looked like more of a spot type of audit. I have a background in accounting, so there's different types of audits, and that particular one, here nor there. Not a forensic audit for sure.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a forensic audit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I think we need a forensic audit. In my opinion, we need a forensic audit of the whole state, right? Clark and Washoe County is where most of the problems happened, and we know that. We know that, there's affidavits of people saying that people were filling in ballots on the night of the election outside, crazy stories.
Right.
Like,
so even if that's not true, even if that didn't happen, what would it hurt for us to take a look and see what's going on? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could find out this was the most safe, secure election out there?
And
right? I mean, doesn't that make sense?
I think,
wouldn't that be cool?
Most people who want
then they can all yell at us.
Yeah, I think most people who
because I'm on your team. Sorry, but I am.
I think most people who want an audit, if it were to come back and we knew it was a transparent and fair audit, we would say, okay, we were wrong. I mean, I think that's all there is. But like, you worked in accounting, I worked in pharmaceutical software. Like, I've been through a few audits. Like,
oh yeah,
and I have to, like, you never go, are you questioning the integrity of my work? You say, let me show you what I've done, and let me help you sort through it, and let me take the feedback to make it better next time.
Not only that, but when you do a real audit, you're not auditing your books.
No.
Right? No. I mean, when I would get audited, most of the time it was a sales tax type audit. I've been through some IRS stuff, but primarily it's been sales tax. Those folks are tough. I got to tell you, they walk in and they're demanding, and they tell you, not in a mean sort of a way. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's their job, and it's not their job to be your friend. And they walk in, they tell you what files they want to see. You don't get to pick. And they look at it, and then they make determinations. They ask questions. They ask you, is this, or why is this in this manner? Or they ask you for backup documentation. It's grueling. It's really grueling.
And I'll be frank, I love auditors. I think that they're the people, I think they're the people that keep it
Good for you.
in tow. You know what I mean?
You're right. No, I do agree with you.
When you're doing something, you're like, how would the auditor see this? Like,
Right.
I want to make sure this is up to spec.
Well, and it makes people accountable, right? If I know, somebody's coming in, I can't tell you how many times we've had that conversation in our shop. Is this taxable or non-taxable? Do we have the resale permit? We can't do this unless we have that.
Yeah.
Would we do that if somebody wasn't going to check on us?
Heck no. I mean,
right?
maybe
that's just honest.
I mean, maybe you're a better person than I am. I think people get lazy. I
That's
mean,
right.
It's just like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Right. Well, I know they're going to do that, right? They've been with us a long time. We know they'll do that. Yeah, but you know what? Somebody else that's walking in the door doesn't know that, and you have to prove it.
For sure.
And it's not hard to look at a client and say, you know what? This is what the state requires. This is what I have to do. And if you don't do that, I have to charge you tax. And then they say, okay. And they make a decision from there, and they either get you what you need or they pay the tax. So I think that's kind of what we're trying to say to the state. It's not about that we think anybody in particular won, though many of us do, but that's not what this is about. This is about finding out what reality is. What problems do we have? What do we need to fix? How do we tighten up our systems? That's what audits tell you.
Well, and I think when you look at just the way the country went in the past, 8, 10, 12 years of division.
Right.
One of the things like I would really pray for is that our country comes together.
Yes.
And if you've got
and it's starting to, and you and I can talk about that
yeah.
after we take this break, because we're seeing it happening. We're seeing both sides coming together, and it's an awesome thing. So we'll talk about that after the break. We'll have more on What's the Story. And Christina, we're loving your story. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
At Northern Nevada Family Dental, we are proud to announce a wide range of advanced dental services by way of the Photona Lightwalker Laser. The Lightwalker Laser can efficiently and effectively treat most periodontal problems, from deep persistent pocketing to peri-implantitis and a multitude of conditions in between. Have cold sores? We can inhibit the cycle of the virus and sometimes even prevent them from occurring. Do you have a snoring or CPAP problem? Through the amazing healing power of light, we can treat tissues inside the mouth without anesthesia, appliances, or cutting, so that after just one treatment, most people sleep better and quieter that same night. By using the power of the laser intraorally, we can also smooth facial wrinkles and tighten sagging necklines, all without you having to be numb, and there's no downtime. It can even be done on a lunch break. Through the FDA-approved Power of Light, these treatments and many more are now available at Northern Nevada Family Dental in Sparks. Have I piqued your interest? Give us a call at 626-7772 or visit us at northernnevadafamilydental.com.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
At A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, we've been accomplishing happy feet for over 30 years.
We offer a various range of shoe styles and sizes for both men and women. From all-season shoes and orthotics to work boots and safety shoes, our professional and reliable staff possesses the knowledge to help you find the proper shoes to fit your needs. Hard to fit? Hard to find?
A Proper Fit Footwear is here to give our customers happy feet. We make people aware of potential foot problems as we're sizing their feet, suggesting the right arch support, and guiding them to the proper shoes for their needs.
Stop by a Proper Fit Footwear at 4001 South Virginia Street in the Reno Town Mall today, and allow the owner Mike Jones and our fabulous staff to find the perfect pair of shoes tailored to your specific needs.
A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, the home of Happy Feet, where comfort and your feet meet.
This overload.
Shannon Lawson here. Join us for the Nevada Radio Roundup, Fridays at 2 p.m. A good news variety show all about the local scene. The Nevada Roundup, Friday at 2.
Now she's gone like a little.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? We got some folks coming on the set a little bit late. Come on in, Doug. Doug is here. That's fine. Go right ahead. All right, so we are back with Christina, and we have been talking a little bit about why she wanted to have an audit, how she thought about leaving the Republican Party, but decided to stay, and has since become the chair for the Central Committee in Storey County. And Storey County is a small county, but it's a county that counts. And I want to mention to you, and I don't know if I told you this off air. I'm sorry to hit you, kind of sideswipe you here, but I'm gonna. Did you read there was a post on Telegram that I saw that said that there was 108% of the 108% of the people in Storey County voted.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that to you because I think that should kind of go to your clerk there and see if she can resolve some of that, because that was the latest stat that came out from somebody. I was surprised because Seth Keshel, who is the military intelligence guy that's been doing a lot of analysis based on voter registrations, didn't note that, or at least didn't mention it in Storey County, said that there was very little fraud in Storey County.
And it's 108% of registered voters?
Yes.
Interesting, because that's not the number that I remember seeing, but I'm going to look into that because I think it's a conversation that needs to be had if it's accurate. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I knew you'd be interested.
Yeah.
And I meant to send it right over to you.
Sideswiping.
Well, I meant to send it right over, but so much has been happening.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get to it. Welcome, Doug Ashby. Glad you could be here.
Well, thank you. Here I thought I was...
There you go.
No?
Yes, there you are. There you are. You're on. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, you're on. You sound great.
Fire away.
Okay. Well, it says when lit, and it's the
other.
Oh, I'm over there.
I did the same thing at the start of the show.
Fire away. Ask your question.
I thought I was 15 minutes early, but it seems like I'm 45 minutes late.
You forgot we were doing 2 hours today.
Well, the 2 hours to me was from 4 to 6.
Oh.
So, yeah. And trust me, I don't want to miss an extra hour. Hi, how are you? It's
nice
good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. This is great.
This is live radio, right?
I wish I could have heard that you came over from the dark side, I take it, huh? Oh.
No, she just had talked about leaving the Republican Party. Because of what happened.
I understand that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us, so a lot of people aren't aware of their precinct, right? Can you explain a little bit? Because I'd like to use this as an educational tool as well.
Yeah, no.
Because lots of people don't understand. I mean, you know that you're in a particular area, and now we're all voting wherever we want to vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of go wherever. It used to be you had to go in a certain area. I don't know that I really paid too much attention to what that meant. Can you explain a little bit about precincts for people?
So in Storey County, we're divided into precincts, and I am not sure off the top of my head how many precincts we have up there, but the precincts are basically for Storey, the Virginia City Highlands, Lockwood, Mark Twain, VC, you have that kind of set, and it's basically where you go to vote, in early voting, at least. But the precincts by our bylaws has so many positions open for precinct committeemen, which is really an elected position. So you come in, you can be elected into the precinct. The bylaws for Storey County is you come to 2 meetings and then you can be elected in. So you got to be kind of committed.
You got to earn it a little bit.
Washoe County, I've heard rumblings that their bylaws are changing as far as precincts go, but at this point it works pretty much the same way. You have your precincts up, in the north and the south and everything, and they'll have so many positions open and you can jump in and get involved in your precinct. And then I do know, or my understanding is in our bigger communities, the precincts will do stuff together, where in Storey we're smaller, so we do it as a county.
Right. Well, that would make sense, because I think that I looked at the precinct that I'm in, and I think there were 1,000 people in that precinct.
Oh my goodness!
So,
yeah.
But you had 2,000 votes. That's okay.
Yeah. I didn't check that. So what's the if somebody was going to become a precinct
committee person, I guess,
okay.
A delegate. I don't know Nevada's term for it, but committeeman is what I hear the most often.
Right, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
What is their job? What are they going to do?
So,
because I hear there's a lot of power in that.
I think, in my opinion, the biggest thing that you do is you get to have your voice. You show up to these meetings, you meet the candidates, your electeds come to these meetings. It's, depending on county, we meet quarterly in Storey County. We are a spread out county. I believe Washoe is starting to meet once a month. And you get to have votes, the precincts will vote on things like, if you see a rural county that's gone maskless, let's say, a lot of times it means their GOP committee has voted a resolution in and taken that to their county commissioners and saying, this is what we want for our county. You also have just you get the opportunity to vet the people coming in from.
I think that's the key right there.
Yeah, from school board to, a congressperson, really, Congress and Senate. I've recently met with Sam Brown. I've met Joey Gilbert, not at our precinct committee, but you start working in those circles and you get to hear from that person what they really believe. You get to see it's not just let's put this out and not really defend it. And I'll tell you, I would love to see more people join the precincts, because I think that's where we're really falling short in our politics as a country and in Nevada, is that the people aren't getting represented in the precincts.
And that would go for either party in your eyes, yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because since you've been so involved with wanting to have an audit, a forensic audit, you have met many different kinds of people from many different persuasions politically.
Yeah.
So Democrats, independents, nonpartisans, you've met them all, right?
I have, yeah. Yeah, we were actually out doing a petition the other night to get an audit. I'm working with the state party on that. And I would say about a third of the people that I met were independents, libertarians. But the most impressive thing, and I think this is important, is I had 2 Bernie supporters show up. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know what happened in our election, and showed them what we had found as a state party. And the lady looks at her husband and goes, I knew the system was rigged against us. And
that's the fact.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy, is it isn't a Republican issue.
It's not.
This is every party that is having their voice being taken. So that's why it's so important. And unfortunately, because Trump was such a, marginalized figure, I guess that would be a nice way of saying it, right? It's hard to get some Democrats to even listen, because they think all you want is to have Trump back. And regardless, there are folks that is what they want. You can't say that's not true. It is true. However, at the same time, it's not so much about that, because that's just 4 years.
Yeah,
then that's done, right? So what you really want is you want the system to work. You want your vote to count. That's all. I mean, that's a pretty simple thing,
and I think that, as as a person, as a resident, as a mom, like I'm looking at my kid's future thinking if we're going to rig things, she doesn't have a chance.
That's right.
And they can make us fight amongst ourselves all we want, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they're just going to take what's ours anyways.
And the good news is that we're not all fighting among ourselves. They may publicize and propagandize that we're all fighting, but I don't think we are.
I don't think we are either.
I've met more Democrats than I ever have. I used to be one. I'm not anymore, but I'm a nonpartisan. So, but the thing is that once you start to talk and discuss what's happened, everybody's having conversation. You don't all agree. They don't always agree with me when I tell them that. They argue, and I say, that's fine. I'm more than happy to hear it.
Well, and I told the Washoe County Commission a couple months ago, what they're doing in Washoe County, what they're doing is bringing us together because Bernie and Trump supporters meet.
I saw you on that, that meeting.
We're coming together because we see the same problems.
Right.
And we want to fix it. And
Right.
I think that's what it comes down to. And I mean, just a quick plug here. Like, I know that Nevada's got a ton of independents. I know we got ton of libertarians. One of the things I'm encouraging people is pick a side. Obviously, you know what side I would suggest you pick, but you don't get to vote in the primaries. And the primaries this year are going to be the most important primaries we've seen in Nevada.
Right. And I think that everybody does need to pick a side, including I'm talking to myself because I'm going to have to pick one. So, because otherwise you don't vote in the primary. And right now this is critical. It's a critical time. And I hate to cut us off, but we're going to have to cut off. This has been such an enjoyable time.
Thanks so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Oh,
all right.
Thanks for all my input, too.
Absolutely. We had a lot of fun, didn't we? All right. Thank you, Christina, and you are welcome back anytime you'd like to.
Thank you.
Love to hear updates as you go.
Okay.
All right. So this is What's the Story, and today is our 2-hour day. So we will be back after this long break, and hopefully you'll be back too. Thanks so much.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from,